It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and this is your Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili breakdown. Y'all, I just got off work, so don't kill me, but I knew I had to go make this breakdown real quick. This is a great fight. I love this fight. This is a legitimate make or break career defining fight for both guys. I would say it's more make or break for Petr Yan than anything right now. Merab Dvalishvili, if he loses, it's not the end of the world for him. He's on a great win streak. He has really good wins, and I think he could bounce back from a loss like to Petr Yan. But I don't know if Petr Yan can bounce back from a loss to Merab, and I think there's no reason why he shouldn't be, but people will clown him and destroy him if he loses this fight. I think Petr Yan, and I've said it before, you can clown me all you fucking want. I think Petr Yan is one of the best fucking bantamweights in the world, and I stand by that. But I also do think Merab Dvalishvili is one of the best bantamweights in the world, and he can perform like it. He has an ace card that's called wrestling and fucking cardio and grit. Petr Yan's ace card is his precision, his grit as well, and his boxing. So I think that this is what makes this fight really, really dope, and I love it. And I really can't wait for it. Can't wait to watch it. It's a hard one to predict. I think there's a real way for both guys to win this fight. I think Yan can really lose this fight if he loses the first 3 rounds, like he did against Magomedov. Like he did against fucking Aljamain Sterling in the second fight. You know, if he can just get taken down a few extra times in those first 3 rounds and lose those first 3 rounds, he can really lose this fight and then end up winning the 4th and the 5th, right? And that could be a problem for him going to this matchup against Merab. You know what I'm saying? And Merab's a tough dude. He's a tough fighter, and it's a tough act to follow, man. When you're coming off a loss to Sean O'Malley where you feel like you won, and then to get an even harder fight after, usually he should have got someone a little easier, but it can tell you what everyone else thought of who won. You know, they're giving him this fight, so it's a tough fight. And if Merab wins this, he's in a weird position because he doesn't want to fight Aljo, right? So I don't know if Merab is waiting for Aljo to leave 135 and really signify himself as the #1 contender to that division. So it's a lot of interesting moving parts, but this is a really big fight in this division. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wins this, it's really big for both of them. If Yan wins it, obviously we know Yan can wait a little bit because he has some losses. He lost to Sean O'Malley, he lost 2 times to Aljo, right? So he can kind of wait it out a little bit. But if Merab wins this, I think you can't deny the guy. I think he has a better resume than Marlon Chito Vera or even Corey Sandhagen. So it's like, Merab wins this. I mean, how can you deny the guy? The guy's coming off wins over Aldo, a guy that fucking Vera lost to. He beat Marlon Moraes and Cody Stamann, and he has some good wins, man. John Dodson. He has fought some good dudes, and if he fights Petr Yan and beats him, and he puts that to his resume, it's gonna be a hard dude to deny. But obviously, let's talk about the stats. Petr Yan comes with a record of 16-4. He's fighting out of Russia, age 30, a height of 5'7", and a reach 67. Merab Dvalishvili is coming with a record of 15-4. He's fighting out of New York, age 32, a height of 5'6", and a reach of 68. So, interesting fight here. I think obviously we all know it's going to be striker versus wrestler going into this matchup. We know Yan has good wrestling. He has decent takedown defense, but Merab has a great takedown. So obviously we've seen Yan get taken down and controlled before, and we've seen Merab control guys, but we've also seen Merab get hurt and stopped, and we've seen Yan stop guys. So that's what makes this fight so interesting, is that Merab has somewhat of a suspect chin, and obviously Yan, I'm not one of the guys that's always suspected Yan's takedown defense, but there has been a collective few that have said Yan is a horrible wrestler. You know what I'm saying? There's been guys that say that, and they say he's an undercover bum, or he's a fraud, or this or that. And I don't agree with that. I think Yan is one of the best, but especially when we had that Yan versus Aljo war, you know. I was talking a lot of mess and about the Aljo fans, and Aljo fans, they got the last laugh. So this is a bit of that kind of even in this matchup where, yeah, you're gonna have Aljo in his corner for Merab, and you kind of go back to that old rivalry that Yan had with Aljo. So there's something to that, and that's a cool little storyline to talk about. But yeah, man, Yan, I could talk about his last few fights, but really let's just talk about his last fight. Sean O'Malley, it was a good fight. I thought he won, but it was competitive. It was a good scrap. Both guys gave a good count of themselves. Jan had some good takedowns. Obviously, Sean O'Malley showed his striking off. He just had more damage. But Jan landed some good shots, and I thought Jan gave a good account of himself. But I just felt like Jan, if he would just choose what he would do to guys, I think it would be better for him. He was trying to mix things up, which is cool, but I just wish he would have really just stick with the wrestling in that matchup, man. You just have such a good wrestling advantage over guys. Like, I get it. He likes to have fun and he doesn't want to be boring. But, man, you could really put it on guys with his wrestling. He has underrated wrestling, and he doesn't really utilize it enough. And I think that's what really killed him in the O'Malley fight. It's like, dude, do you want to wrestle or do you want to strike? Which one? You can't do, you can do both. But in that matchup, that's what made that fight so competitive, is that he was leaning in towards Sean O'Malley's strengths until he took him down, right? And obviously, Jan eventually hurt him. Don't get it twisted, but the reach just vanished, the length, just how big O'Malley is compared to Jan was just a bad matchup. But with Merab, obviously, I told all y'all Merab was gonna be Aldo, and you guys are still fucking pissed about that. And I've been kind of picking Merab for a lot of his fights, besides the Marlon Moraes one, which I almost had that if Marlon didn't just gas out. But I think it's interesting that some people are hating on Merab just because he beat Aldo, and he didn't beat him as well as I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna get some takedowns. He didn't get no takedowns, but he kept him against the fence, and he just controlled Aldo. And that's all he really needed to do in a 3-round fight. And against Jan, he can do that too, man. And he's gonna have to do that. And people hate on Merab, but Merab has so much potential to be a world champion. He really does. And I don't know if you guys remember one of my oldest top 5 threats videos, one of my first ever top 5 threats to Petr Yan videos that I made. I said, fucking Merab Dvalishvili is up there as one of a legitimate threat to Jan. And at the time, he was, I think, 11. He was really low in the rankings at the time. He wasn't as high as he is now. And I told a lot of people, man, this guy Merab, he has the tools to beat a guy like Jan. He really does. And do I think he's gonna do it? My heart tells me there's a chance. There's a chance that Merab might beat him. But my brain, it's telling me that Jan, I think, maybe like 2 years ago he could have beat Jan if they just matched up like just out of nowhere. But I think Jan has learned from those losses, and I truly believe that I agree with some people. Jan might have been a privileged Russian fighter, and he got things a little easier, and he got the title shot against Jose Aldo, and those things kind of came quick to him. But I think people fucked around too much. I think the UFC gave him an opportunity to become a hard-working fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been through losses now, and he's had experiences now that a lot of people said, oh, he didn't have. That's why he didn't deserve a fucking title shot. And obviously UFC went with who's the more talented guy. And you might be wondering what my point is. My point is, people said he didn't go through adversity enough in his career. He didn't have enough top 5 level experience enough in his career to get a title shot. Now he's lower in the rankings than number 2 bantamweight in the world. Now he has that experience, and he's learned and he's worked. And now I think it's his real opportunity to show what he has and make a legitimate run. I think that first run he had was, it was kind of gifted to him. But I think this run he's going to make, this is a run of hard work, grind, and fucking a work ethic. And I truly believe he's going to put it on Merab. And I think he's going to etch a phenomenal comeback story of how he lost that belt and how he gets it back. I believe in Jan, and this is Jan's most important fight, and I know he knows this is his most important fight. And I think he's going to finish Merab Dvalishvili in the 4th round via TKO. I think he's going to break Merab. I think his takedown defense is going to be better than it's ever been, and I think his striking is just too much. You look at what Marlon Moraes did to Merab. That's all I have to really say. This is my point. I think a lot of people, you must have fucking forgot who fucking Jan is. And he's going to make you pay. He's going to make you pay, and he's going to make you eat your fucking words. Because that's the best fucking bantamweight in the world, and I stand by that. And I can't wait by the end of this year, he fucking proves it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love y'all. Goodbye. It's your boy eBay. I'm out of here. And yeah.